Welcome to the Light of Sirio podcast. My name is Dori Fari and I will speak with a realized spiritual master about his views on life and the topic of spirituality. So now we reached to our third episode. The previous episode we reached in the story of Master Sirio that you arrived to Kabul and at the embassy you met this Italian boy Adriano, whom you met again in a museum, and he also indicated to you to go to North India instead of South India. So then how did the story continue? Because you were there with those boys, Cesare and his friends, with the van, and then now you met this Adriano who said that he was going to North India, proposing to you to go with him. So how did you decide there at that point?
So first I met him in the Pakistan embassy in Kabul because these friends of mine, they were going for the visa, Pakistan visa, in order to enter Pakistan. So we met Adriano there. I didn't talk with him, but I noticed he was Italian. So after leaving the embassy, I think we spent one more day in Kabul, and then next morning we started off to enter Pakistan, cross the border to Pakistan. So from Kabul you have to pass through the Khyber Pass in order to enter Pakistan. Now you enter Pakistan, but before you enter India, Khyber Pass was the border or the place where you left Afghanistan and you enter India. Now, after the partition, you enter Pakistan. So, we were told that Khyber Pass could be a dangerous area because some bandits or robbers were there in the area, and sometimes they would attack or assault the buses and cars passing through. So we were told, be careful. But to us, nothing happened. Like on the whole trip, we were very lucky and we had no problems whatsoever. The van always kept working. We never had to go to any mechanic. We were always super protected.
So God made a good work through Cesare, that he prepared everything very good for the trip.
Yes, he was my protector in a way. God protected me through associating me with these people, with Cesare, who had already gone to India, and he knew the way, so he knew what to do, so I couldn't have a better company. Anyway, while traveling, long hours of driving and driving and driving, so sometimes I would go into some kind of crisis. And I would begin worrying about, where am I going? Now I'm going to India. Eventually I will have to separate from these people. And I will be alone. What will I do? Where will I go? Well, of course, my idea was going South India, going to Pondicherry, the ashram of Aurobindo. But also I knew that Aurobindo was already dead. And I didn't know anything about La Mère, or the mother who was the successor of Aurobindo. So it was an enigma somehow. How it's going to be? What's going to happen? So I would worry about these things sometimes, and when these worries came, I felt kind of oppressed. But then right after, there would be like coming inside of me an assurance, like somebody telling me, don't worry, it's going to be fine. So after each time I went through a crisis like this, I had such a relief, and I felt so blessed and so blissful. So that's how it went. It didn't happen often, but from time to time I would go into this worrying about what's going to happen.
But it just came to my mind. Out of curiosity, you never thought when you were in this crisis that maybe you should stay with these boys and travel along with them and go back to Italy when they go back to Italy, traveling with the van comfortably? Or it was never an option?
No, because that was not my purpose. Going to India, I was not going to... I knew they were not interested in looking for a master. So I was not interested. My purpose of going to India was not traveling here and there in India, see India, visit India, and then come back to Italy. That was not my initial purpose. My initial purpose was going to India, find a guru that would help me get back that experience. So no, there was never the option of the idea of keeping traveling with them.
Well, because I just thought it could have been like a last chance safety option that in case I feel too lost, I can always go back with them.
Well, moreover, I was not sure. I never talked with them about this option. I was not sure that they would like me to keep traveling with them. So, no, I never had this idea. I always had this idea at some point I would have to separate from these people. So anyway, we entered Pakistan, and the first night we stopped in Peshawar. Peshawar is the first town you find once you cross the border from Afghanistan to Pakistan. It's a big town, and so there we had a taste of India, let's say, because well, it was India just 30 years before, even less than 30 years before. So the culture, the style of everything is very much Indian there. Although Pakistan is Islamic, but it's Indian Islamic. That's what is Pakistan, is the Islamic India. So we went to the market, we arrived there in, I remember it was evening when we arrived, because that's how it went always. We traveled for the whole day, and in the evening we reached town, and there we stopped. So that time was Peshawar, so we went out in the market, and I had a very nice feeling. I really got for the first time that feeling of India, because it was very different from Afghanistan, from Iran, from Turkey. It was completely different. So I really liked this air of India.
So it was charming for you.
Yes, right away I felt very much at home. But not as much as I felt at home once we crossed the border from Pakistan to India. So anyway, I think we spent one day maybe in Peshawar. I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly if we spent any time to visit the town. I think actually the next morning at some point we started off and we went on from Peshawar to Lahore. So you cross Pakistan, and as I said, the first town you find when you cross Afghanistan is Peshawar, and the last town you find before entering India is Lahore. And Lahore is the town where Master Sirio used to live. He was not born in Lahore. He was born in the district of Rawalpindi. Sayyad Khashran, the village where he was born, he was in the district of Rawalpindi, which is again another town in Pakistan, which was at the time Punjab, India, when he was born there. So then eventually he got his job in Lahore. So he lived most of his life as an adult and as a married man with a family and with a job in Lahore. So there I had a very special experience, and I connected with the fact that Master Sirio was living there, because we have a very special connection with, at least once you are so deeply connected with a master, all the things about that master will have an impact on you. That's my understanding. So one evening we went to visit the Red Fort in Lahore. It was a very beautiful, well-kept place. Beautiful gardens with beautiful flowers. And there also I had a mystical experience. And I felt so uplifted and so nice. And I thought, a place like this is the place where I would like to live, where I would like to spend my life, meditate and realize God. That's what I thought. So I had this very beautiful experience, which renewed again to me this determination to look for God and nothing else, and not give up and not try to go any other direction.
But didn't you say before that when you met this certain Adriano in Kabul, that he proposed to you, why don't you come with me? I go to Rishikesh. Wasn't he going to Rishikesh?
No, then I met him again in Lahore, by the way. It was in Lahore that one morning we went to visit a museum in Lahore with my friends, with my new friends. So in this museum, at some point I met face to face this Adriano, and he told me, "Oh, I saw you in the embassy in Kabul." I said, "Yes, I remember your face." So we talked, and he asked me, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to India." And so where would you like to go once you reach India? I said, "Well, I have read the synthesis of Yoga of Aurobindo. I like his teachings, and I would like to go to Pondicherry." And he said, "Oh, I've been in Pondicherry for a long time, maybe more than 1 year.
Yeah.
So I know the place." And he said, "I tell you, I wouldn't go there. After spending so much time there, I can tell you that La Mer is very old now. He told me that there was this other guru now, this La Mer. She was a French lady, that's why she was called La Mer, which means the mother. And he told me she's very old, and now the organization there is very much business oriented. So I don't feel that place to be anymore this sharp spiritual place." So I asked him, "Where are you then now?" He said, "I am in Rishikesh, North India." And I remember that the other boy from Genova I met in Kabul, he told me about this ashram in Hardwar. So I told him, another place where I would like to go is this ashram in Hardwar, because I met a boy in Kabul, and he told me about this ashram, and he thought it was a very special place with a very good energy. So that's my other indication for the possible direction. And he said, "Look, Hardwar is just 40 kilometers from Rishikesh, where I am going. So if you want to go to visit this ashram, then you can go with me. You can join with me and we go together." So I said, "Well, but I'm traveling with these friends of mine now. So you are traveling by train, how do we go together?" I said, "Why don't you ask them if I can join with you? Just entering India, and then okay, then once we reach Ludhiana, we can take the train and go up to Hardwar, and that's the best way if they accept." So
this is when the guest brings a guest.
that's how it goes. No? So I told him, "Okay, let's try. Maybe they say no, but we can try anyway." So we went to Cesare. He joined with me. We visited this museum together. Cesare was not there. I was with the other boys. And then in this museum, I also met with some Indian people from India, not from Pakistan, who were visiting Lahore because maybe they were Indians who were before living in this area, which now was Pakistan. So they were going to visit this place which they knew. There was a bunch of Indian ladies, and I was so fascinated by them. I mean, in that time, my mind was very Indian oriented. So anything coming from India was like magic for me. So watching this lady was very, very inspiring, very nice. Anyway, then he came with us and we talked with Cesare, and he said, just cross the border, and then after some time I'll take a train and go up to Rishikesh. So if you can just allow me to join you for this short trip, I'd be grateful. And Cesare said, "Yes, why not? You come."
So Cesare was the good person, the positive character in the story. But
he was a good boy, actually.
But this is also interesting that have like a thread. Magically, everything unfolds by and by. That in Istanbul you met an experienced traveler who even took you by car. Then, when you had to separate from them, you met another experienced traveler, knew how to move in India, because here they spent more than a year in India, renewing the visa all the time. So you had another guide.
Yes, that's why I was super protective all the time, and super guided where to go and how to proceed. Because when you're doing something for God, God takes care of you, definitely. And I was very sincere. So God had to take care of me. So anyway, you cross the... first we reached the border between Pakistan and India. And, you know, you enter Punjab, which is the land of Sikh. The Sikh, not the deceased people, but the Sikh religion. Those who follow the Sikh religion.
S-I-K-H people.
Yeah, and oh, I saw these beautiful people with this long beard and these turbans, and while waiting they would check our passport, and there were very, very beautiful gardens there also with oleanders in flower, and really well kept the border. It's very nice. Actually now it's a touristic attraction. Now many people from India, either from tourists from other places or Indians themselves from nearby towns like Amritsar or other towns, sometimes in the evening they go there to just watch when the flag is pulled down, or in the morning when the flag is pulled up, and they have some singing. So it's very beautiful, and it's kind of a touristic attraction now. So anyway, we reached there, and I felt so good there, really. I really felt like entering home. 9,000 kilometers away from home, I felt like reaching home. So we traveled and we reached Amritsar. It was very interesting. The first thing that I saw before, when we reached Amritsar, we got down the bus and we went to eat something in a restaurant, and came a very strange man who was dressed like Hanuman, you know,
yes,
with the tail.
Even the tail.
Yes, even with the tail, and a mask like a
monkey face.
Monkey face like Hanuman, and I was so amazed. I thought.
So right away, oh wow, finally I arrived to India and you met Hanuman in person.
I thought, well, I didn't even know at the time who Hanuman was in their culture, in their beliefs. But I thought, my God, this India is really an amazing place. Look at these people.
The monkey man.
I never saw anything like this, similar to this in Italy, nowhere else. But in India you found all these strange characters, really fantastic people, amazing people.
Well, it's a special charm of India that they accept everything.
Yes, everything is acceptable.
Then, as far as somebody doesn't bother them, no, it's okay. Then they respect it, and maybe they even like it.
Well, this is fundamental part of Indian philosophy, especially Hindu philosophy. Live and let other people live. So if you don't bother them, they will never bother you. That's how it is. So anyway, after having this lunch, Cesare said, we should go visit Golden Temple. This is a place which I've been visiting when I was here last year, and it's a very wonderful place. So since we are here in Amritsar, before proceeding, keep going, we should go visit this Golden Temple. So while we were going towards the Golden Temple, we saw it was very different Amritsar then than now. So we saw a crowd of people coming in the opposite direction, holding some basins of metal full of mud on their head, like thousands and thousands of them, going the opposite direction. So I asked, what is this? What are they doing?
What a phenomenon.
And then once we reached the Golden Temple, we came to know that they were cleaning the pond, which is around the Golden Temple.
Uh-huh.
There is this lake. this new lake. No? So they were digging out the mud from the bottom, clearing it. They do it from time to time. So all these many people were doing this holy work of cleaning this sarovar, this lake which is around the Golden Temple. And so there was this line of people going one direction and another line coming back. It was amazing.
But did they do it by hand?
Yes.
Like this hand. And carrying away the mud like this?
By hand, like this.
What a...
That's what Indians are capable of.
Service. What a devotion.
Yeah. And the Golden Temple, since it was a very special celebration at the time, I think was the celebration of either birth or passing away of one of their gurus, there were all these many people. It was really overcrowded with thousands and thousands of people. So I never seen anything like that. I never seen so many people gathering in a place together. And the atmosphere was very uplifting, I must say. It was full of love and devotion. And I really felt it. So I thought, my God, I think that's really amazing. I thought, look at this. What an amazing place and what amazing people. How much they believe in what they believe. And how much faith they have in their religion, in their gods, in their... So I was very, very impressed. And look at this. There is a bond between Sikhism and the Guru I was supposed to follow in my life. Because Sankirpal Singh was born in the religion Sikh. So these are connections which are there. And I could have ended up in a Hindu temple or in a mosque. But no, I ended up in a Sikh temple. And I never became a Sikh because even Master Kirpal didn't understand himself as a Sikh anymore. He was a Sant Mat follower. But, I mean, he came from that culture. His mentality was saturated with these teachings of the Sikh gurus. Not the Sikh beliefs of the religion, but the teachings of the gurus, which is different to my understanding. Because the Guru Granth Sahib, which is the holy scripture of the Sikhs, of the Sikh gurus, in which there are teachings from, of course, the Sikh gurus, but there are also teachings from Sufi saints like Shaykh Farid, like Kabir, and others, and also from Hindu Mahatmas like Bhagat Namdev and others. So it's a syncretist kind of scripture which gathers together. I think it was the very first holy book of a religion which included teachings from Mahatmas, holy people from more tradition, like the Sufi tradition, the Hindu tradition, and the Sikh, of course. So, in these teachings you find that the living Guru is the central part of the teaching. Teaching has value, is kept alive by the presence of a living Guru. Without the living Guru, the teaching just doesn't work. It becomes again a belief system which loses its dynamic force, because it is the Guru that keeps the teaching alive and gives power to the teachings. So in every of the hymns contained in the Guru Granth Sahib, you find always go to the living Guru, because that's the way to reach liberation, to reach moksha, to reach Sachkhand, whatever, the region of truth. So,
well, it came into my mind in one of your songs. You express it that in Italian it says "La via è il guru è la via." Like the path is the guru, and the guru is the path. And without guru, the path has no sense.
Yes, that's right. That's my belief. That's my experience. So
then what happened in the Golden Temple? So that you said you were so amazed and charmed by everything that happened there. It was so powerful. All these lots of people there. This great love and devotion that was happening. And
the singing also, because they are constant singing, 24 hours a day almost.
Yes.
And the singing also was very appealing. No, I mean the atmosphere and the devotion I saw in the face of the people, it was just so captivating. It was so appealing to me. So it stayed as a memory in my mind. So when I eventually met Master Kirpal and I saw he was a Sikh, to me it was nothing new. I already had a taste of it. Anyway, so we visited the Golden Temple. Eventually in the afternoon we started off towards Ludhiana, which is the next town you find in Punjab. Ludhiana, again, it's it's an historical place for followers of this path, because Baba Sawan Singh was born in a village in the district of Ludhiana called Mehma Sinwala. And so it might mean nothing, but to me it means something. These very important steps during this journey, this trip, they happened like this, in places which were connected with my gurus. In Lahore I had that experience, and it was in the town where Master Kirpal used to live. This change of direction, leaving these people eventually and taking my own direction, now with Adriano, it happened in Ludhiana, a place where Baba Sawan Singh was born. So, there is a bond between all these stories.
So it's interesting that, anyway, when you reached Ludhiana, then a very important and prominent second part of your trip closed, because the first part was together with your friend Claudio reaching Istanbul, which was the shortest part, let's say most simple. Then came this long but very smooth and pleasant part, reaching India with the group of Cesare, with his van, and then just before separating from them, meeting Adriano, the new guide, and reaching Ludhiana. So like every ending, it's a new beginning. Like when the story died off with Claudio because he couldn't get the passport, he couldn't go with you. That part of the story ended, but a new began. Then when it was over, because you had to go with these people to India, so it died off. It had to end.
Yeah.
But there was a new beginning.
Yes. So we reached the station in Ludhiana late in the evening. I think it was at least 10 o'clock. And there was a train. Cesare went to look. I think he knew already, maybe, because he knew that he had been there already. And he had taken the train already. So he knew that there was a train going maybe 10:30, 11 from Ludhiana to Rishikesh. We'll reach Rishikesh in the morning. So I separated from Cesare and the other people, and up to that point I had given them no money whatsoever. They never asked me for money to put gas in the van or anything. So before we separated, I told them, look, I have this. I think it was some $100. I give this to you for the trip as my contribution for the trip. And they said, no, we don't want anything. No, it was just a pleasure to have you with us, and we don't want anything. The girlfriend of Cesare began weeping when I had to separate, and Cesare was amazed. He said, it's not me going, it's he going. So
well, they really, by and by, you really became friends.
Very close, yes.
But did you ever meet them after, ever?
Yes, I met them in Como. I went to visit just Cesare and his wife. Not the other boys I never met.
Oh, so did they get married?
Oh yes, they can marry
Nice.
their children also. Yes.
So it was a happy end.
Yes. So anyway, separated from them, we took the train and I slept at some point. I fell asleep. And in the morning, when dawn began coming up and the light illuminating the surroundings, we reached a station somewhere, and Adriano went down and got chapati and some chickpeas placed in a bowl made of leaves of some tree. And he came up with one for him and one for me, and he gave it to me, and I was so amazed, like this, eating these chickpeas in this bowl made of leaves and this chapati. So it was everything so charming to me. Anything Indian there, it was really so fascinating. So I was so happy to have this unusual breakfast. Chickpeas and a chapati.
Yes, for an Italian kind of breakfast, it's very, very far away from the classical Italian breakfast.
Very uncommon. Anyway, then we proceeded. At some point, I think it was maybe 9 o'clock in the morning, we reached Hardware. So Adriano said, okay, now we get down and I will proceed. I take another train here at the station and I go to Rishikesh. It's just an hour trip from here. And you go visit this ashram. If you like it, you can stay there. If you don't like, then I give you my address. You can come to Rishikesh and come to visit me. I have my girlfriend there and I'm going to meet with her. So if you don't find this to be your place, you come to Rishikesh and come to visit me. So I told him goodbye, and he gave me some indications, like dress yourself in a certain way. If you go in an ashram, it will be more welcome, and other things. So I went to a shop, I bought what they call a dhoti or a longi. This is a kind of piece of cloth which you put around your waist and your legs, and like a gown, more or less. And
Like a skirt.
yes,
Long skirt.
Yeah. So I went to this ashram. I asked, there is this ashram of Guru Maharaj. That was the name of the Guru. And they indicated to me, you go this direction and you will find.
But did you try to improve your English on the way, or?
No, really not. I was kind of foolish, because Cesare could have taught me something, but I never thought of trying to learn anything. That was really... If I think back, I wonder how it was possible that I didn't think about learning something.
But how long did it last eventually to travel from Istanbul to Haridwar?
To Haridwar, I think it took...
Or to Ludhiana?
20 days, I think, more or less. Maybe 18, something like this. And so, anyway, I went to this ashram, and there was a gate, so I asked if I could visit. And they told me, sit here with us. There were two people.
Were there Indians?
There were Indians, yes. And I went inside a bit before, yes, I remember. I went inside the ashram. It was not a big ashram, it was not so big. It was a garden, but I must say that as soon as I entered India, it was like the doors of the gates of spiritual perception for me opened up so powerfully that I began feeling like a magnetism, a very strong magnetism, all the time. And also in that ashram I felt a very strong magnetism, a very strong power. So when they told me, eventually, let's meditate a bit, let's sit silent a bit. So I tried to meditate a bit, and I felt this very strong energy. But at the same time, I felt this is not your place. You have to go from here.
But was there a reason, or it was just like an inner impression?
No, it was an inner
feeling,
indication that this is not your place. You have to keep looking.
But did you meet this Guru Maharaj eventually?
That's what they told me eventually. No, he's not here, so what you do here? I thought maybe I insist a bit if I spend some time here. I'm telling them, why not? I can spend some few days here and see, understand what you teach and what you do, no? But I didn't feel like insisting. So eventually I went back to the gate, and these people told me, let's sit a bit in meditation. So I sat a bit in meditation, and there I really felt, you better go, it's not a place this. So I went to the station.
Was Adriano still there?
No, not yet, gone already. No, I went to the station, and I saw so many sadhus boarding the train to go to Rishikesh. There was so many of them. And so I didn't know they were Hindu sadhus. I had been reading books about Buddhism and Buddhist monks, so I thought they were Buddhist monks. But they were Hindu sadhus, Hindu monks. So anyway, at some point the train to Rishikesh came, I boarded the train, and I sat in a certain wagon.
So, but did you decide eventually to go to Adriano again?
Yes,
or to Rishikesh?
Of course, yes, I decided to go to Adriano. But on the train, something happened. So I was sitting in a wagon, in a place, on a seat, and an old man came with long hair, long beard, and sat just in front of me. So I began asking, where are you from? I said, I'm from Italy. And he began talking to me, and I didn't understand most of the things he said. And so I understood that he didn't speak English, and he tried to keep quiet. But at some point, the train stopped at a station, and he went down the train, and he told me, come with me. So I said, okay, I go with you.
Oh.
So he went down the train, that wagon, and he went up another wagon. So I followed him. We went on the other wagon, and there were 3 American girls sitting in some seats there. So he joined them, and he told me, sit with us. So I sat with them.
But did he know these girls?
This I don't know if he already knew them.
Or
but he knew they were there.
Ah, okay.
Because he came down from that wagon and he went up the other way.
But
so I thought, why didn't he go, I mean, one would think, no, why didn't he go directly to them? No, he came first to me. He invited me to follow him, and he joined with these girls.
But did he have a purpose to make you united?
No, I didn't have a purpose. God had a purpose.
Maybe he just thought, oh, these are all Westerners, so similar should go with the similar.
Maybe. I don't know if he had anything in plan of any kind in his mind.
So did anything interesting come out of this meeting with these Americans?
Of course, very interesting.
Oh.
Everything was well guided, well directed, and this was also very important. So he began talking with these ladies, and talking, and he just sat there watching them or thinking my own things. And at some point we reached Rishikesh. So he invited them to visit his house, and me also. He said, you come. So we went to visit his house. I don't know if it was an ashram, but if it was an ashram, it was a very small ashram. So he showed us his place, and then he told these girls, take this boy to a certain place. So he said, go with them.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, I went with them because where should I go? I didn't know anything about Rishikesh, so I had somebody to follow at least somewhere. So we went along the road. At some point they turned and they took a path which went towards the Gange,
Mm-hmm.
and there were on both the sides a lot of huts made of branches and some foods belonging to sadhus, where sadhus were living.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw they were sitting outside the huts, some smoking chilum, and some sitting there, and they would ask these girls, bring it to us.
Oh,
Yeah.
sounds strange.
Because this sounds strange because these Westerner boys, they would join with these sadhus, they would feed them with hashish and marijuana, and they would get money from them. They would make them kind of their disciples, so they would get money from them. That's how it went. And that's what I saw the next days in Rishikesh. That was what was happening there.
New business for Indian sadhus.
Yes,
Young boys coming from far and
boys and girls from the west, stupid boys and girls from the west that we suck their money and we feed them with some kind of drugs. But these girls just forget about. That's what they said. Just go with us. So I was very protected, because if I didn't go with these girls, I don't know where I would have ended up because I didn't know anything about Rishikesh. So my Sadhguru always took such a care of me, all the way, all the details, small details. So eventually we entered an ashram which belonged to a Swami, disciple of Shivananda, and it was a very nice place, no drugs there, and just spiritual practice, and for staying there I had to give 2 rupees per day, which was just very little
nothing.
money,
Yes.
almost nothing. And I could use the toilet, I could do the shower, and I could sleep not in a building, but there were roofs, and there were places.
It was like a protected place.
Yes, it was
like a shelter.
And it was very warm anyway, so you didn't need to sleep in a...
So this Indian man was very good to you, that he took care of you eventually, that he took you to these American girls and told them, bring him to a safe place. Maybe he understood, oh my God, this other foolish boy from the West, from Italy, he doesn't even speak English, he will get lost. So maybe he had
He thought of protecting me.
Yes.
Yes. So he told them to bring me to this place because it was, then I realized the next days it was really the best place all around there. I mean, then there were other ashrams, even like the Shivananda ashram, which was very good, but there was also a small reality where I could be accepted and pay very few money and be in a nice place with nice people. Moreover, there was something else. In the same place, there was a lady from Turin with 3 children of hers staying at the same place. So when I told the Swami that I am from Italy, he told me, there is a family here from Italy, so you can meet them. Anyway, then he asked his disciple, Swami, a younger Swami, to take me to a certain restaurant, and so he proposed to me to have a lassi. First lassi I had in my life.
In Rishikesh.
The very first evening I reached Rishikesh.
Was it mango lassi?
No, it was a masala lassi.
Masala lassi.
So we had this lassi and we talked a bit. I don't know how could we, but we find ways to communicate even with signs and expressions of the face, so we could communicate something anyway. So eventually we went back to the ashram, I went to sleep, and the next day I met this lady who was a friend of Adriano. She was a friend of Adriano. She had been living in Pondicherry ashram for 1 year and a half with her kids.
Incredible. Incredible, because I was just thinking about that you had the address of Adriano, so did you eventually got back to him?
Well, I could have asked for the direction to Adriano once Rishikesh, but...
well, but came your protector,
yes.
this Indian man who didn't leave a chance to you.
Anyway, it was evening, it would have not been easy to reach the place where Adriano was, because it was beyond the other side of the Ganga. And at the time there was no bridge, so you had to go cross with a boat, and it was too late, I think. So the best place for that was the place where I was taken, where I met this lady, I don't remember her name now, and she was a friend of Adriano, so together we decided, but next day we go to visit Adriano.
So you got a new guide.
I got a new guide, yes. So, anyway, that's how it went.
So next day you met Adriano again, did you?
Not right the next day, but after 2 days. Yes. So first I made acquaintance with this lady and her children, and we became nice friends. We shared so many opinions and outlooks of life and philosophical beliefs and understandings. And she told me a lot about the ashram in Pondicherry, Aurobindo and La Mer and all these stories. So we talk a lot about this because that was my interest. And so after 2 days I was there, we decided to go visit Adriano. And I think we will continue the next time.
Yes, but you know what came into my mind? That this is a bit funny that he didn't speak English, just a little bit. But during all this trip, which did last a month, maybe it was 1 or 2 days, when you didn't have somebody Italian to speak with. No? Because that was only when in Ludiana you separated from Adriano. Up to that point, you were always with him.
Separated from Adriano, and that was the only place where I...
in Hardware, sorry, yes. Yes, and then from Hardware, getting to Rishikesh, and then maybe this one or 2 days, maybe up to meeting this Italian lady, no?
Well, the lady I met the next morning right away.
So it was just 1 day, maybe, which you had to spend with English, like this. Interesting.
So we'll continue next time.
So this is very interesting. So many happenings. And so next episode of the podcast will come after 2 weeks, as always, Sunday. And also I would like to say to our listeners the number seems to grow, because I get more and more positive feedback that people are looking forward to hear the continuation of the story. And also I would like to say, which is also written at the episodes, that if anybody has any spirituality related question, you can send an email to siriopodcast@gmail.com, because in the later episodes Master Sirio is going to reply questions to the listeners as well. So thank you very much, dear Master, to share all these fantastic events. It's really so captivating. It's like I would say, because recently I was reading some articles that like people joke with it, that traveling in time exists because on that ancient painting, there is somebody who wears a Nike shoes. Stupid things like this is just joking, but I would say traveling in time really does exist, because listening to you, I feel like being there with you, going back to the 70s and doing this trip with you. So traveling in time does exist. This is the proof. So thank you very much, dear Master.